Ik ga iemand aankondigen die, zoals alle sprekers, natuurlijk interessant is. Deze vrouw, Tasoula Hadjitofi, die ik straks de microfoon zal geven, dat is een bijzondere vrouw, niet alleen omdat ze gedreven is, maar ze is gedreven op een terrein waar niet iedereen zich op profileert. En zij doet dat met niet alleen de beste bedoelingen, maar ook met resultaat. Ze heeft een kunstroof uit haar land Cyprus ongedaan gemaakt. Dat is een enorme inspanning, daar toont ze leiderschap in. Het onmogelijke mogelijk maken tot een wetswijziging toe. Daarin heeft ze volgens mij ook Ralf ontmoet, dat is mijn vermoeden. En zij gaat een andere bijzondere man introduceren. Nou, hecht ik eraan om te vertellen, we hebben voorafgaand aan deze bijeenkomst, dat wil ik je graag delen, hebben wij een inspiratiediner. En daar moet je je trouwens geen baganaal bij voorstellen, dat wil ik toch wel even gezegd hebben. En daar spreken ze. En toen zag ik al wie zij was en wat voor geweldige invloed ze heeft. Dat zullen wij ook geworden. Dus ik ga met veel... Ze heeft een boek geschreven, er komt een film van, mag ik verder niks over zeggen. Maar dat we het maar weten. En toen zei Ralf, dit is het moment waarop we straks zullen zeggen, wij hebben haar gekend toen we nog gewoon je en jij konden zeggen. Mijn vermoeden is dat dat altijd zal kunnen bij Tasoula Hadjitofi, die Cyprus Lakkotrypis zal introduceren, minister van Handel en Energie en meer dan dat. Want het gaat bij doel, duurzaamheid, ondernemerschap, educatie, leiderschap, over ondernemerschap. En hij daagt ons, zoals we hier zitten, daartoe uit. Met veel genoegen. Tasoula, de microfoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Harry. For the ones who speak in English, Harry said in Dutch that there are microphones, but I'm telling you in English, you can get them over there. Nederland bedankt. Ik ga nu in Engels verder. The small island of Cyprus and its republic provide a stable hub in the eastern part of Mediterranean. Who knows? Perhaps Cyprus, the island of beauty and love, can play a role for sustainable peace in the Middle East in the future. As you all know, there is an urgent need to lift the economy of Cyprus, but this creates business opportunities. It is these business opportunities that our next speaker will share with you and call upon your expertise in the areas under his authority. It is my personal aspiration that after today, we in Holland will look at Cyprus, my country of origin, from another perspective. A country with challenges, but also a lot of chances, as it is moving through its own transformation. Yesterday, our speaker had a meeting with his Dutch counterpart, the Minister of Economic Affairs, Mr. Henk Kamp. They discussed a variety of issues of mutual interest and ways to cooperate, all of which was in a very positive spirit. Let us today, all of you here in BIT, kick off economic diplomacy with Cyprus. I know the Dutch, you are the best in this area. Not so much for the size of Cyprus, but for the role it can play for the economies around it as well. The Netherlands, as I know you, and I'm very proud to be one of you, recognize opportunities when we see them. Please, look at Cyprus today in the spirit of partnership, in the spirit of friendship, and with positive thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege and honor to introduce to you His Excellency, the Minister of Commerce, Industry, Tourism and Energy of Cyprus, Mr. Lakkotrypis. Mr. Minister. Oh, okay. You prefer that?
Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear Ralph, thank you, Tasoula. I'd like to start by thanking, first of all, the organizers for giving us the opportunity to tell you a story. The story of a country that's gone through a lot the past 10 months, so almost a year on, where we are, what opportunities the country presents. And it's a truly a great honor that I'm addressing such a distinguished list of guests such as yourselves. You are probably all aware of the circumstances that took place in Cyprus about 10 months ago, last March, with the bail-in decisions of the Eurozone. Now, we've come a long way since then, even though the events have been dramatic and unheard of up to that moment. We did work hard as government, we did work hard as peoples to be able to bring back the country to sustainable growth. And the sacrifices of the Cypriot people are starting to bear fruit. And just to name a few of the events that have happened, we had our first upgrade from Standard & Poor's last November. That's the first upgrade in 2.5, almost 3 years of continuous downgrades. We had 2 very positive reviews from our partners, our lenders, which again are praising Cyprus for its efforts to go ahead with the structural reforms. And in January 2014, if somebody can compare the yields of government bonds for Cyprus, one can see that it's almost half of what it was in June 2013. So in June 2013, if my memory serves me right, 10-year bond was yielding about 17%, when in January it's yielding about, right now, about 6.5%. So we are moving in the right direction. What I need to say is that we have a lot of things that we need to do. The economic circumstances are difficult. We have a lot of pressure on the small and medium businesses because of the lack of liquidity, and unemployment is rampant right now. But we are determined that we will do the things that we need to do in order to turn the country around. But let us have a look why, according to all admissions, Cyprus has had a less severe economic recession that was initially forecasted. And the reason lies in a number of areas which I will be discussing in the next few slides. But first of all, Cyprus is a full member state of the European Union. It's a member of the Eurozone as well, for better or for worse. It has an excellent strategic location. We're sitting at the crossroads of basically 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. And we can see later where that plays within the economic environment and the potential of the country. We have excellent basis of human talent. Again, we'll be discussing that in a minute. Legal and regulatory framework, which is based on common law. And of course, a very favorable tax regime, despite the recent events in March. So some of the areas of opportunities that we'll be discussing in a minute and that we feel that can be potential both in the short term, mid-term, and the longer term are professional services, tourism, that's in the shorter term. We've got in the mid-term more about renewable sources of energy, especially solar. We've got opportunities in the shipping industry for the reasons I will explain in a minute. And of course, in the longer term, the discovery of natural gas and hopefully oil in Eastern Mediterranean and in Cyprus waters creates tremendous opportunities in the upstream, midstream, and downstream of that industry. I also have to mention, it's not mentioned here, but we are also undergoing now a privatization plan, which might interest some of you. We will be privatizing a few state-owned companies. The 3 most important ones are the Cyprus Telecom, Electricity Authority, and the Cyprus ports. So very, very quickly, let's go through each one of them. Professional services. People sometimes confuse what has happened in Cyprus in the banking sector as to what has happened in the professional services world. And I have to say that even though the banking sector has been hit pretty dramatically, and it's shrunk and will probably remain small for the years to come, and our big effort is to restructure it, to keep it small but keep it healthy. In the sense of professional services, we haven't seen any outflux of foreign direct investment. On the contrary, in November, we had more than 1,000 companies registering in Cyprus to set their headquarters. And the reason, there are many reasons. I would say the most important one is that the professional services sector has never been a bubble, never. It has been based on solid foundations, on human talent, on excellent professionals, lawyers, accountants, and still we consider that this sector is going to be one of the drivers in the economy in the short to the midterm. With regards to shipping, you can see on the slide, the Cyprus fleet and the flag is one of the largest, will continue to be the largest. It is very convenient because Cyprus sits exactly at the crossroads and has an unbelievable proximity to the Suez Canal. So it is very convenient for shipping to and from Asia Pacific and Europe. And certainly this sector is going to grow. We see a huge potential in the longer term, especially because of the oil and gas opportunity, which we will see in a minute. So in this particular sense, shipping, geography is the word to keep in mind. And of course, I'll go to the big prospect of the Cypriot people, which is the oil and gas industry. In 2010, the US Geological Survey predicted that the presence of natural gas and oil in Eastern Mediterranean. Now, the presence of natural gas has been proven bit by bit over the past few years. We had a few discoveries in Israel. We had one proven reserve now in Cyprus. We expect over the next 18 months we're going to have much more proven reserves. What you see on the map is the exclusive economic zone of Cyprus, which has been submitted to the United Nations under the law of the sea. And we have blocks, and we'll see the blocks in a minute. We have licensed 6 blocks so far. One went to the consortium led by Noble, an American company, and participating 2 Israeli companies, Delek. There are 3 blocks that went to the oil major Eni, and we also have 2 blocks allocated to Total, the French group Total. And you see that the presence of such multinationals in this area gives confidence as to the upstream operations in the oil and gas business. I have to say and mention here that we have the limitation agreements signed in a very, very unstable area. As everybody knows, we have the limitation agreements signed with Israel, with Lebanon, and with Egypt, so that we can create a very stable environment and very predictable environment for investment in the upstream or in the oil and gas business at large. And we are seeing an unbelievable trend now that everybody, all the countries realize that we need to create prosperity and peace through the opportunity of the oil and gas discoveries in Eastern Mediterranean. We are seeing things which have been unheard of in the past, countries talking to each other that would otherwise not even recognize them. And the last slide with regards to oil and gas, with regards to the strategy. First of all, the sustainable exploitation of our natural resources. We have taken the decision that we will be monetizing through an onshore LNG liquefaction plant. That is the plant which can help us build economies of scale. What you're seeing on the video, we have been flaring gas last summer for the first time. Cypriot gas was burning on the surface of the sea. We're also seeing a big trend to turn the country into a logistics and services center, not only for servicing operations in the Cyprus exclusive economic zone, but also operations in Lebanon, Egypt, or neighboring countries. And certainly another trend that we're seeing is how Cyprus can become a liquid fuel regional hub, especially because of the proximity to the Suez Canal. We already have some very, very big companies, Dutch companies, investing in Cyprus in the liquid fuel business, and we have a few more right now in the pipeline. Hopefully we'll be signing over the next few months. Renewable energy, another big opportunity. We have plans in Cyprus to go big on solar. As you understand, solar energy in Cyprus is much more predictable than any other source of renewables. We have 2 pillars in the strategy, 2 purposes for this. One of them is to create a green economy, and we already implemented some very, very aggressive plans in 2013. We'll go even bigger in 2014. But also, we are hoping that through the faster introduction of renewable sources, we will be able to drop the cost of electricity, which is hampering the economic development. Right now, we are not as competitive, the economy is not as competitive as it should be because we have to depend almost 97% on liquid fuel imports. So part of the strategy, renewable sources, that's a huge area of opportunity. We're going to be going big with funding. We already have a renewable sources fund, which is helping us drive either storage, pump storage, or other source of technology. And of course, last but not least, one of the areas which Cyprus is very famous for, some of the areas which Cyprus will continue to be very famous for, which is tourism. And despite the events last March, we managed to turn it around. Despite the loss of credibility, we again managed to work with our partners and bring the numbers of tourism for 2013 up to about the same levels as they were in the year before. So we're planning to do double-digit growth in 2014 onwards. But more importantly, we're planning a number of infrastructure projects because what we want to do is not only increase the quantity of the arrivals that we have in the country, but also improve the quality of the experiences that we offer. That's why we have in the pipeline a number of marinas, a number of golf courses, and of course an integrated resort casino. We hope that will be the first in Europe that will be constructed, that will provide a comprehensive experience beyond just the casino experience that is being offered everywhere else in Europe. So we want to diversify, we want to go with thematic themes like bicycling tourism, like medical tourism, and we're going to be investing a lot in this part of the, in this sector of the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude by remembering the words of a poet, Yorgos Seferis, who wrote that Cyprus is a place where miracles still happen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in thanking you, in concluding this presentation, I want to assure you that the Cypriot people is working very hard, very, very hard, for these miracles to happen again. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Lakkotrypis. Let's see if there's anyone in the audience that thinks of connecting on this case with the Cypriot authorities that might be of interest. Is there anyone, can I have a bit of light, that is thinking of connecting maybe? Any here? Yeah, you're in tourism, I know, so tourism. Is there anyone else in? Yes, you? What sort of business are you in? Okay, you're promoting trade, and so it's the other way around, connecting that way. So you're interested. Anyone else interested in and likes to connect on this issue? Yes, please. Okay, so you offer the connections you have to get this message further on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Could you please give your name later on? Anyone else in this group of people, maybe? Anyone connecting on this issue? Anyone that is knowledgeable in the field and wants to say something more than just applauding and a sign of appreciation that I'm after? Anyone about this subject? What did you like about the whole performance, so to speak? Yeah, and there's a mic coming up.
I have some news for the minister.
You got news for the minister?
We have a congress this year.
Yes.
On the 13th of November.
There's a congress,
in
yes?
Cyprus from the Dutch travel trade. So we supposed to have around 400 visitors from our trade to promote your tourism.
Okay.
And I hope you will be there as one of the the speakers.
So
keynote
this is a
speaker.
formal, this is the opportunity you take. That's
Thank
what
you.
I got
Thank
from
you.
it. Thank you very much again. En dan schakel ik over op...